cars are fast. That's already well established and we know about that. But electric cars can also be fun to drive. The Porsche Taycan, it has demonstrated the potential of involving electric cars. And in India, it has taken off really well. Demand has been extremely strong. But wouldn't you want a little bit more ground clearance on your Taycan? A little bit more practicality? Maybe a little bit ability to take on off-roads considering the condition of roads back in India? Well, say hello to the Cross Turismo. Now, this is based on the Sport Turismo, but it has got more ground clearance. It has got all these nice off-roady bits. And I think this estate kind of roofline, the shape, it obviously adds to practicality, but in my mind at least, it looks really cool. What do you think about the styling of the Cross Turismo? Let me know in the comments below. Now, in terms of styling, at least from the front, Sport Turismo and the Cross Turismo look very similar to the Taycan Sport Limousine. But the big differences come when you step over to the profile, and that's where the shooting brake, estate kind of roofline, it looks really cool, really attractive. Now, the big difference between the Cross Turismo and the regular Sport Limousine is the additional 20 mm more of ground clearance that you get. I've actually raised the suspension. All variants of the Taycan get air suspension, and in the completely raised position, this ground clearance, I think it's pretty adequate, enough for most Indian roads and conditions. You also get this off-road kind of cladding, which looks really cool. That's your charging point, and you get the charging points on both sides of the car. You swipe to open it, very cool. You can put a roof box on the Cross Turismo, and it is rated for 200 kilometers per hour on German autobahns. So it's a fast car even with a roof box. This shape, it gives you easier access to the rear seat, and you have these frameless doors, which is also a very cool touch. And of course, at the rear, you get a big boot. 1,212 liters, which is more than adequate for 4 people to go touring, and with a range of 490 kilometers. This is the 4S. It gives you a range of 490 kilometers. That's more than enough to go touring in an electric car. If you own a Taycan and are an Android user, well, I've got good news for you. The model year 2022 updates are available for all existing Taycans. So you just have to book a slot with your dealer. It takes a day, and a lot of these updates are now available on the existing Taycan. So for instance, the PCM, you can get all these styles in color, and you get wireless Android Auto capability, and that supplements the already existing wireless Apple CarPlay. You can retrofit the 22 kilowatt onboard charger, so you can get faster charging. The range is better, so in range and in normal mode, the front axle, it decouples, so you get better range. Obviously, that doesn't happen on these winding mountain roads, but when you're on an autobahn, that axle decouples, you get better range. This glass roof, you can make it completely opaque, or you have different varying levels of transparency. You get more over-the-air functionality. The parking sensors, it has got more range and also more capability. And you get the remote door opening. So all these functionalities can be now updated on the existing Taycans. We have all grumbled about the proliferation of SUVs. You see them all over the place, and everybody are buying SUVs. But the Cross Turismo could quite possibly be the most practical, the most desirable SUV around. Now, one of the big differences to the regular Taycan is this gravel mode, and there are a lot of these wild videos of the Cross Turismo sliding around on gravel tracks, and this can actually do it. You can actually go full send on gravel tracks. Only thing, you got to really be careful about the underside and don't damage it, but it has got more ground clearance. And with the off-road pack, that optional off-road pack that we have here on this Cross Turismo, you get 30 millimeters more ground clearance than a regular Sport Limousine, which is what the regular Taycan is called. So it has genuine ability. It's not just a Taycan with more ground clearance. It's not just a jacked up Taycan. And in terms of ability, my oh my, this thing, it's a rocket. You have a lot of different variants on it. So you have the 4, you have the 4S, you have the Turbo, and you have the Turbo S. This is the 4S, so one step up from the regular 4. And it really does move. The ability, the speed is just freakishly fast. All Taycans get the 2-speed gearbox, so the lower speed is activated only when you really floor it or you do a launch control run. Like even for instance now, when I step on it, you can feel that the low gear is engaged, there's a slight jerk, and then it just takes off like a bloody bullet. In terms of performance, you get the equivalent of 483 bhp, which goes up to 563 bhp in the so-called overboost mode. Torque 650 Newton meters of it. 4S, so you get 4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. Just step on it and it bloody moves like a madman. You get 0 to 100 in 4.1 seconds, 0 to 200 in 13 seconds flat, and a top speed of 240 kilometers per hour. Don't use all of that performance, drive it a little sensibly, and you can get a range of up to 490 kilometers. So you have performance, you have range, you have an ability to go on practically any kind of road, and you also have comfort. So take a step back, dial it back a bit, drive like you would normally drive, not when you're hustling a test car. And this is really comfortable. It's easy to drive. And because all that weight, 2.3 tons, but most of it is nice and low, the handling, it is flat. There's not much in the way of body roll, actually hardly anything in the way of body roll. The grip is incredible. The bite, the traction around these fast corners, it just grips. It sits and grips. It's unshakable, the traction. And then at the exit, you put your foot down and it grips and goes. It just goes like a bullet. And I've been doing all this in the regular normal mode. So you stick the drive mode controller into Sport Plus. The first thing that you notice is this artificial kind of noise. We'll just switch to the GoPro audio so you can listen to the artificially generated noise. In Sport Plus, obviously the ride is not as plush. It does become stiffer and it all but eliminates body roll. The steering weight is a bit heavier. And then this weirdly sci-fi noise proliferates. This is an SUV that goes like a sports car, that has the road presence of a sports car, and that has the practicality of an SUV. Perfect, perfect. And of course, this does not look like a estate. It looks like a shooting brake, which is not an estate. It is a fact that we Indians, we hate estates, but this is not an estate. This is a shooting brake. And it's just so cool. And it has everything that the regular Taycan gives you with a little more practicality. So what's there not to love? There are now 14 variants of the Taycan on sale, and on the Porsche India website, this one, the Cross Turismo, is listed. The 4S, it costs 1.74 crore rupees. Of course, expensive, but this is a luxury car. A luxury car with sporty intentions, a luxury car that you can use on all kinds of roads, what with the whole Cross Turismo package, a sporty car that's also practical, what with this shooting brake roofline. What do you think of the Cross Turismo? I personally think it is a damn cool vehicle, and I'm sure you will start to see a few of them on the road in India. But what do you think about it? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, do give us a thumbs up, share this video with like-minded enthusiasts, and don't forget to stay subscribed to the Evo India channel.